Hi, everybody. This is a little quick study of Psalm 19. My name is Rabbi Maurice Harris. If you're able to see the screen in front of you, what I've done with this psalm is I've alternated the lines in Hebrew and English, and I have used yellow highlighter on the Hebrew words that I want to point out and green highlighter on the English translation of those same words. So I'm going to start by just reading through the entire psalm in English. For the leader, a psalm of David. The heavens tell about the glory of God. The sky proclaims God's handiwork. Every day gushes forth utterances. Every night declares knowledge. There is no utterance, there are no words whose voices go unheard. Their measuring line carries throughout the earth, their words to the end of the world. God placed in the heavens a tent for the sun, who is like a groom coming forth from his chuppah, like a hero eager to run his course. His rising place is at one end of heaven, and his circuit reaches the other. Nothing escapes his heat. The teaching of the eternal is perfect, renewing life. The testimonies of the source of all are enduring, making the simple wise. The precepts of the Holy One are just, rejoicing the heart. The instruction of the source is lucid, making the eyes light up. Humbled awe before the unnameable one is pure, abiding forever. The judgments of the source of wisdom are true, righteous altogether, more desirable than gold, than much fine gold, sweeter than honey, than drippings of the comb. Your servant pays them heed. In obeying them there is much reward. Who can be aware of one's own errors? Clear me of unperceived guilt. And from willful sins, keep your servant. Let them not dominate me. Then shall I be blameless and clear of grave offense. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. So now I want to turn to some thoughts on the four sections of this psalm. And for those who weren't sure what the word chuppah was when I used it earlier, that's the Hebrew word for the wedding canopy, the chuppah. But anyway, some thoughts on the four sections of this psalm. So first of all, it's my assertion that this psalm is broken into four sections. People might have a different take on that, and that's certainly fine. But for me, in the first section, what we're learning from this psalm is we're learning about the cosmic powers of words and of speech. Words not only create the universe, they keep it running. And creation itself, including the celestial realms, the sky, Hashamayim, the sun, they transmit words that resound everywhere. Words are cosmically important. So I'm going to go back up to section 1. And if you're just able to look, you can see everything that's highlighted in yellow for the Hebrew or green for the English. These are all words or phrases that have to do with words, and particularly with the speaking of words, the transmission of communication through words. The heavens, right? The creation, the part of creation that is celestial, especially for our ancestors in the ancient world, who didn't think of the world as a planet, but thought of the ground they stood on as sort of the center of creation and the coarsest and sort of least perfected part of creation, with concentric circles of finer and purer creation surrounding them in a bubble. The heavens tell about the glory of God. The sky, the heavens are telling, the sky is proclaiming, The days themselves gush forth utterances, speech. The nights declare knowledge. And all of this, all these utterances and words and voices are heard. Who hears them? The poem's not telling us that yet, but it's just that there's this sort of cosmic, constant, um, ongoing expression of words and speech and proclamations, and all of it is being somehow received or heard. We're not exactly sure by whom, but we are told that all of these words carry out all the way across all of creation. Their words um, go to the end of the world. So then I've got this sort of dark red vertical line where I think that the poem shifts, and I think it shifts to part two in the middle of one of its verses, which, I suppose somebody might want to offer a different take on it, because it is a little odd for there to be a section break, a thematic section break happening right in the middle of a verse, I think. In any case, this is the part where the poem shifts to this metaphor of this image of God placing a tent in the heavens for the sun. And the sun is like, one of the great, if not the greatest, of the celestial beings created by God in the theology and cosmology of ancient Israel. So what does the sun do? The sun comes out from this chuppah, from his tent, or from his wedding canopy, and he also sets out like a hero, eager to run his course. And he goes from one end of the heavens to the other, and nothing escapes his heat. So I think the reason for this particular section, which is not so much about words, is that this is a part of the poem where it's making a move to personify a part of the heavens, the sun. Suddenly we're told that one of God's celestial creations is like us, is compared to humans. The sun is like a groom coming out from his chuppah. The sun is like a hero setting out on his mission. So this is important. We started with cosmic words, words that God speaks, that creation speaks, that the heavens speak, that are heard everywhere and constantly resounding. And then we leave that idea for a moment and we pivot to talking about the sun, and that we're learning that the sun is a little bit like us. Now we're going to go back to talking about words again in section 3. So I'll scroll up to there. Section 3. The teaching of the eternal is perfect, renewing life. The testimonies of the source are enduring, making the simple wise. And then we learn about the precepts and the instructions. So we've now shifted to specific kinds of words, right? And these are words of teaching, of commandment, of mitzvot, of moral instruction. And so we're continuing to move closer to the realm of humans, because these are words that come from God but are meant for us. And for what it's worth, this line, the teaching of the eternal is perfect, Torat Adonai Temimah. This is a fun line of Psalms that is often sung liturgically and is very well known for folks who go to synagogue services. Okay, the last section, section 4. Well, actually, let me read what I have about section 3. What I wrote is, so far we've heard that through words God created everything, and that the heavens themselves gush forth speech and testimonies. And we've been told that possibly the greatest celestial being in the heavens, the sun, is kind of like us. And now the poem shifts to describing the content of this divine speech that is everywhere being amplified by nature and the heavens all around us. We're running out of time, so what I'm going to do is come back and do another.